Okay, so in this session we are going to start controlling module. So first of all, I'll explain what is controlling, what activity we are going to perform in controlling module, and what is the difference between, or else I'll differentiate FI and controlling. What is the difference between FI and controlling, FI and CO, so that you will be having better understanding. Now here FI stand for finance and CO stand for controlling. FI is called financial accounting and CO is called management accounting. Generally in FI, what we are going to do, in FI we focus on what we spend money for, what we spend money for. So whichever transactions, whichever amounts which is being spent, this all transactions, these all amounts will be treated. Whatever our expenditures or revenues are there, these all will be treated as a kind of, it's a kind of transaction, and these all transactions need to be recorded, and those transactions are going to be recorded in FI module itself. But if you talk about controlling, what is happening in controlling? In controlling, we focus on where we spend money for, where exactly we are spending. Okay. Now, if you talk about finance, here external reporting based on accounting principles like IAS is there, IFRS there is there, GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles and all. Based on different accounting principle, what we have to do, we have to generate our financial statement. This financial statement will be based on the different accounting principle in order to meet the country's specific requirements and all. So here if you have to generate a financial statement, that will be generated with the help of FI itself, finance module itself. And this generation of financial statement, why it is required? Because it is required for external reporting. Here we are not going to keep it with us. We have to show it publicly, since the company is listed in a stock exchange. And apart from this, I already told you guys, like there are lots of stakeholders are there who is having interest in the performance report of the company. Performance report could be your balance sheet and profit and loss statement, so both together is called a financial statement. If you talk about controlling, then here controlling is like, generally here what is happening, here we are going to do, we are going to use this module for internal reporting. So there are several small reports are required, because management is not very much concerned about lots of things. They will much concerned about the cost. They will much concerned about the expenditure, because they know that if they control the cost, if they cut the expenditure, then whatever their profit is there, that is going to maximize automatically. The more they are having gap between cost and revenue, the profit will maximize more and more. So which is why management will keep their eye on the cost or expenditures, and most likely whatever P&L statement items are there, they will have a look on those items itself. They are not very much concerned about the balance sheet items and all, like assets and liabilities. Okay. So here controlling is used for internal reporting, FI is used for external reporting. Now, as we know, in FI we are having several submodules like account payable, account receivable, general ledger. Then we are having asset management. Likewise, in controlling also we are having different submodules. So in this session, I am going to cover a submodule called cost element accounting. So I'll explain what is called this cost element, and what exactly we are going to do, and why we are going to do the setting for cost element accounting and all. So here I am going to start this cost element. Now, so if we talk about definition here, definition says cost elements are the cost carriers which carry cost from financial accounting to controlling. Now, you'll be having better understanding once I show you guys something practically. So, of course, that will be also shown. We are having one more topic called cost center. Once I cover those topics, then I'll show you some reports and all. In that, there'll be, it will be easy for you guys to understand. Now, if we talk about cost elements, we are having two different kind of cost elements. The first one is called primary cost element, and second one is called secondary cost element. So people generally, if you talk about controlling, everybody knows that people will have basic controlling knowledge, and so question also will be like that itself. So of course there may be a chances that people will ask like how many type of cost elements are there. So you have to say we are having two kind of cost elements. The first one is primary cost element, and second one is called secondary cost element. So now what is the difference? What is called primary cost element? What is called secondary cost element? A detailed explanation will be there on the next slide. Now here at bottom it says cost elements are nothing but general ledger accounts used in controlling. But this is restricted to primary cost elements itself, guys. General ledger accounts are nothing but the primary cost element. In FI, we are going to post a transaction against a GL, and if you want to see the balance GL wise, we can see the balance. But how you are going to see the cost or any other report, any other transactions or activity in controlling? So for that, in controlling, we are not going to set up GL accounts. The same GL which is available in FI, those GLs are going to be copied in controlling, but those GLs are called cost elements. So cost element is nothing but the GL account itself. The same cost element in FI module it is called GL account. In controlling module it is called cost elements. I'll give some. I'll differentiate. So we'll talk about primary cost element. So what here the slide says, primary cost element is on the other way called a general ledger account in finance module. The same which I have already explained. Creation of general ledger account is prerequisite to create a primary cost element. Guys, if we are not having any GL account in finance module, then we cannot create a cost element, primary cost element in controlling. So prerequisite to create a cost element is a GL account itself. It means indirectly somewhere we are going to copy the same GL from finance to controlling. So it is very easy. If we are not having GL account in finance, and with the same details, if you want to create a cost element, system will never allow, because system should maybe in background it is going to look for a source, and if the source itself is not available, then where is the target? So here the prerequisites to create a primary cost element is a GL account itself. If you go somewhere to open a bank account, people will ask certain address proof and ID proof. If you are not having, you won't be eligible to open bank account. In the same way, if you want to create a cost element, and if you are not having GL account, system will not allow to create a cost element. I'm talking about primary cost element, not about secondary cost element. Okay, there is no primary cost element without general ledger account, so which is already I have explained here. While defining the primary cost element, we have to specify primary cost element categories. Okay, so we have to specify the cost element categories also. Once I create this cost element master data, then I'll show you guys where we are going to specify this cost element categories and all. Anyway, so indirectly the cost element categories, there are lots of cost element categories are there. For primary, different cost element categories are there. For secondary, different cost element categories are there. Every cost element categories are having different uh, cost element category we are going to choose. We are going to select as per our requirement, or what is the as per the nature of GL account. Anyway, here secondary cost element. Now what is called secondary cost element? See here, secondary cost element is the cost element which is exclusively created in controlling. This cost elements are going to be created particularly for controlling module itself, and it is used in controlling itself. With the help of these elements, we can allocate and distribute the cost from one controlling object to other controlling object. Controlling object could be cost center, profit center, internal order, etc. Now, While defining the secondary cost elements, we have to specify the secondary cost element categories. So here I have explained about the primary cost element and secondary cost element. Now I am going to show you guys the practical session, practically how we are going to define a cost element. So we are having certain transaction codes which we have to do, which we have to use for creation of a cost element. But before that, we should have certain things which we have to keep in our mind, like creation of cost element. Either primary or secondary can be done in two ways: individual or manual creation of cost element, and automatic creation of cost element. In the sense, manual creation of cost element, we can create one by one, or we can create in bulk also. That's not a problem. So whatever it is, that is called manual creation of cost element. What is called automatic creation of cost element, guys? The moment you set up a GL account, the moment you create a GL account, immediately system is going to create a cost element automatically with reference of that GL. So this is called creation of automatic cost element. How it is done, that I'll show you guys practically, so that you will be having understanding. And if somebody asks during interview that is it possible to create automatic cost element, like the moment I create GL account, immediately there should be something, some functionality in system, so that automatically a cost element also will be created for that GL. Is it possible? You have to say yes, it is possible. And how it is possible, I am going to show you guys. Apart from this, let me discuss here the second topic also, then I'll show you guys practically something, whatever the things I have explained. So before creation of cost element, the prerequisite condition is that we have to complete setting in organizational unit, that is creation of controlling area must be completed. Guys, whatever OKKP setting, if you guys are able to remind earlier, I might have during enterprise structure and during transaction posting, we may find some error regarding, like error will be there, like controlling area is not found. So in that case, what we are going to do, we are going to create a controlling area. But those creation of controlling area is not a complete setting. Still there are lots of things which was missing over there. So now whatever the missing part is there, that I'll complete here and then I'll show you guys. Let me log in. Okay guys, so I am logged in here. Now I said, like before creation of cost element, the prerequisite condition is that we have to complete the setting in organizational unit, that is creation of controlling area must be completed. Now let's see whether we have created controlling area or not here. So the transaction code is OKKP. That is the transaction code for creation of controlling area. OKKP. This is the transaction code to create a controlling area. Now click on position and let's see whether we have created our TM04. It should be TM03, right? Right? TM03. So here TM03, I have already created this. Now double click on this. Double click on this. So here all the settings are perfect. There is no nothing required to be given here. Assignment already we have done last time. Whenever we create controlling area, we must have to assign the controlling area with the company code. So assignment is already done. Click on activate component. Click on activate component, and here we have to activate cost center. We have to activate profit center. These two itself, since I am going to cover profit center, cost center, and cost element. So these two I am going to activate and save this. This is only the things which we are going to do here. Press enter button. Okay, and press enter. Now here what is happening, we have activated cost center and profit center. Other things I have not activated. Now, so this is the prerequisites also which we have done. Now let's see the next slide. How to create cost element, guys. How we are going to create cost element. See here, creation of primary cost element K01. So now if you have to create a cost element, /nfs00, press enter. And then now I'll tell you guys, as I said, like management is not very much worried about the assets and liability. They'll be very much worried about the expenditure related item and revenue related item, in the sense like cost and revenue. So whenever we create cost element, we create cost element for expense GLs and revenue GL. We create a cost elements for expense GL and revenue GL because management want reports related to these GLs only. And if you have to generate balance sheet, there we are going to use all GLs, even balance sheet items also we are going to. If you have to generate financial statement, then we are going to utilize all GLs. For reporting purpose, management is very much concerned about expenditures and revenue. So those GLs, for against those GLs itself, we have to create a cost elements. Now, so click on, just let me change the company code. And let's see how many GLs we are having. Say for example, we are having rent GL. So what is the rent GL number? 4000. Now against this GL itself, we can create a cost element. Open a new screen and use transaction code KA01. KA01, and keep this transaction code in your mind, because sometimes people are asking even transaction code also. TM03 is your controlling area. Give your cost element number and 0101 2017, like that you can give. The same GL, the GL which we have created, that GL number itself we are going to give here. If you give a different GL which is not created, let's suppose, and if you press enter, let's see what is happening. System is saying that create the GL account 4009 first. Okay, what system is saying that first of all you have to create this GL, then only we can create a cost element. If you see here in FS00, what is happening? We are not having 4009 GL. So cost element can be created if we have already created a GL account for that. So that is what I said, like creation of cost element, the prerequisite will be a GL account. In the sense, before creating a cost element, we must have to create a GL account with the same number. Okay, so now I'm going to give 4000. This is already created as a rent GL. Press enter. See here that rent account automatically came. Now here what we are going to do, cost element category. So here select first one itself, and then nothing else. Click on indicator. Let's see if anything is mandatory. If any fields are mandatory, then we'll have to fill up, because system will not allow us to save. If nothing is mandatory, then we'll save this. It's taking some time because first time we are creating the cost element, so checking lots of tables and other settings also. So now it's coming. Nothing we are going to give here. If you want to link with any cost center, we can link here. But there is one more setting which I'll cover later. We are having one table where we are going to link the cost center directly with the GL itself. So that is called OKB9 setting, and that I'll share you guys a separate video there. I'll share this. Now here history means whoever has created this, their name and the date on which we have created, these things will appear. Now save this. So we have created a cost element of this 4000. With the same number, if you want to create second time, then system will not allow you to create because cost element already exists. So this is the one way to create a cost element. Now let me open this GL account screen once again. FS00. The second way is, let's suppose this audit fee. If you have to create a cost element, click this GL and see here we are having edit cost element. Click here, press enter. Somewhere it should come, edit cost element. Now, yeah. So now what is happening directly, it is going to bring you from FS00 screen also. If you want to come, you can come, and directly it is going to bring here on KA01 screen itself. How I have done, I'll just let you know once again, guys. Here you need to double click on GL account first, so that this GL number will appear like this, and then either you can click here or else you can go to this environment button, environment menu, and from here you click on cost element, or else shortcut here is also there. Click on edit cost element, press enter, and that's how we are going to create this and then save it. So this is the way to create a cost element. If you want to edit the cost element, maybe change name or something K02 to display a cost element K03. Now then if you want to create cost element in a bulk, automatic creation of primary cost element, guys, automatic creation, I'll tell you, don't be confused. If you want to go for mass creation, this is not automatic creation, we can say it mass creation, because for automatic we are having a different method. Now I'll tell you guys how we are going to create, how the system will create cost element automatically. OB13, this is your chart of account setting, guys. Whenever you are doing the company code related configurations and all, then we have to create a chart of account also. Now here click on position, and you have already created a chart of account here. Double click on this chart of account and see we are having manual creation of cost element here, guys. We are having manual creation of cost element. If somebody wants automatic creation of cost element, click this automatic creation of cost element. Then what will happen, if you are having this setting, then the moment you create a GL, immediately system is going to create a cost element also. Against that GL, immediately system is going to create a cost element, but this we are not going to give, because if that is the case, then even for balance sheet account also a cost element will be created. So here we keep manual creation itself. We are not making any changes here. And then what we are going to do, then if we are having more number of GL, then we are going to go for mass creation of cost element, mass creation of primary cost element. What is this? There are 3 transaction code which we have to follow one by one. OKB2 first. So use transaction code OKB2 first. OKB2. First we are going to use transaction code OKB2. So guys, your chart of account is TCOA, right? So give your chart of account TCOA and then click on new entry, and here we can give the cost element from and to. It means at a time if you want to create, like we are having 2 more GL here in expenses, so 4004 to 4003, give here 4004 to 4003 cost element category 1, 4000, sorry, 4003 to 4004, and then press enter, and then you say this, press enter. So now the second step will be generation of batch input session OKB3. See here, controlling area valid from this one, session name. This is the session name your user ID system by default has given. If you want to change, you can change here, like session name I have given test 123. You can give your name also. Batch input user. Here user we are not supposed to. I'll just do it once again because user ID we are not supposed to. So here what we are going to do, we are going to change this. If you want to change the session name, or else keep your user ID so that it will be easy for you guys to remind. Now, so here click on execute. System has done this. Now the next transaction code is SM35 /n SM35, press enter. So see here, this is our session name which we have created. Now the same session we are going to run here. How many transactions? Only 2, because only 2 cost elements we are having. Let's suppose instead of 2 you can assume like 200 cost elements we are having. Mass means more than 1. Click on process, and then here process in background. Now process in foreground itself, that's not a problem. Click on process and press enter. Now see here, one by one your cost element creation will be visible here. Press enter, press enter. See, the first is completed, second is also completed. Let me check. All completed, it means all mass creation of primary cost element. We are having 4002 and 4003 GL. Let me check whether we have created, whether system has created a cost element for these 3 or not, these 2 or not. KA03, press enter, and these 2, what 2 we have created? Check our GL account 4002 and 4003. So press enter for 4003 and let's see whether it is created. It got created. See here. And then 4002, press enter. Cost element 4002 does not exist in controlling area TM03. Okay guys, what we have done, we have done a mistake. We have made a mistake. We have given 4002, the range we have given 4003 to 4004. That is what 4002 was not created. Okay. So here the problem was there from our side itself. But I shown you guys, this is how we are going to create this cost element. I'll show you guys once again. See, we are having revenue 3000 to 3003. So I'll do one thing. Now once again we are going to create in bulk. So the first thing, OKB2 transaction code you have to use. Give your chart of account and then click on new entry and give your 4000 to 4002. Then 1. And then because I am going to create the one which is missing from expense, and whatever remainings are there like 3000 to 3003 for revenue. And here give also 1. Save this. Then use OKB3 to create a batch input session. This is our batch input session. Click on back button and then use SM35. Press enter and see here the batch input session got created. Now click on position. We are having total 7 items here. Then press enter. Keep on pressing enter, guys. Keep on pressing enter. See, this is the first cost element system has created 3001. So generally what is happening in real time, if you have to create a cost element in bulk, then what will happen? Then in that case, we can give the range and then keep on pressing on enter button. See here, I just simply pressed enter button. I am not going to press every now and again. I just keep on pressing enter button. Okay, for 4003 it's already there. I am by mistake I have given 4003. Make it 4002. This 4002 is also already created. So anyway, now /n processing of batch input completed. Session overview. Now out of 7, 6 got proceeded. One is having error, and the error is like those cost element is already created. So anyway, this is how we are going to create mass cost elements or cost element in bulk. Here one by one we are not going to create. Now for secondary cost element also, what we are going to do, if you have to create a secondary cost element, the transaction code is K06. For secondary cost element, we are going to use transaction code of K06/n K06, and here you can give a different number, and generally we give 9 series number. Okay, we can give 9 series number. There is no prerequisite for this. Enter that 9 series number and give a description. Give a cost element category here also. So we are going to give 21. Select this 21 and save this. So this is how we are going to create secondary cost element. Almost same screen, same appearance, same look. The only thing is transaction code is different. That's it. Now here edit secondary cost element K02. Once again the previous transaction code which is already I have shown you guys for during primary cost element creation. Display secondary cost element K03. Okay, so that's all in cost element accounting, guys. From cost element people can ask like, what do you mean by cost element? So you can say it is a cost carrier, and apart from this, the integration between FI and CO happens through cost element itself, guys. Cost element works as a bridge between FI and CO. The cost is flowing from FI. In FI we are having GL to maintain. Against GL we are going to record these all things, where we are going to store these things in controlling. So those transactions are getting stored in controlling against cost element. So cost element is nothing but it's the counterpart of GL account in controlling. You have to say in this way. Okay, and how many types of cost elements are there? We are having two kind of cost elements: primary cost element and secondary cost element. Creation of primary cost element K01 and creation of secondary cost element K06. Okay, so that's all in cost element accounting, guys. Now we are having only two topics remain. Not two topics, even integration is also there. So three topics are there: cost element, cost center, profit center, and then we'll complete the integration, and then we'll the training part will be finished, and then we will be having 101 discussion and discussion related to your profile, your resume, the project details, experience, and other details will be there. So that will be like 101 discussion, 101 session. So that's all in this session, guys.